Hi guys, welcome to the Long Dark. So this is going to be an inventory management update for 2019 since there's been a lot of updates to the game since the last time I did an inventory management, which I think was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So there's been a lot of updates. Let me go ahead and turn the game up a bit. Maybe that'll help. I think it's a little low. Alright, so basically this is a 100-day, this is my 100-day run. I've been here for 111 days in this game, this playthrough. I got the Centurion achievement, and I was really proud of that. 100 days I was in Pleasant Valley. It was awful. I was killing bears. That was pretty fun, but anyway, my skills are almost at 5 for most of the, used ones. Ice fishing I really need to work on. I want to get all my skills to 5. That's kind of like my goal for this playthrough. But here's just my stats on everything, and here's my stats if you want to go. This is a Voyager run through because this was like one of the first sandbox modes I actually played, so I didn't quite get ready for Stalker yet, but these are my stats. If you would like to review them or know what was, going on, you're welcome to pause as you like and read through. I haven't I haven't killed too many animals, but I've been some good bit, So my interloper run is actually really new. I have more fails than one. I have about 15 fails with interloper. I have tried many times. Many times on interloper. Anyway, we're not here for that. So I just wanted to show you my stats just in case you did want to look over and see what was going on. What we are here to talk about is inventory management. So, first of all, you should note that the HUD has changed. So in the bottom left corner of your screen, you can see that you have your temperature, your exhaustion, your thirst, and your hunger. Right now, I'm a smidge hungry, and I could rest, but I'm not really tired. And then the bottom bar is your condition or health. All 4 of the top stats combine to generate your condition. So if one gets, too low, you start losing condition. If you get 2 or 3 of them get too low, you're in trouble. So, inventory management. So this is your inventory menu. When you first pull it up, you're going to notice a few things. So, I don't think I have mouse capture on. Yeah, I do. Okay, so over on this side, you'll see different tabs. So these tabs will tell you what stuff you have in the type that it is. So this is your fire starting. So, you have your woods, your tinders, any kind of fire striking material, matches, a book that you've already read that you can throw away. Next, you have first aid. So anything related to first aid is going to be in here. A lot of my first aid is already unloaded. I did just move into Mystery Lake, so that's why I'm doing this right now, because I'm going to start unloading and showing you how to dislodge your inventory and what's important to keep and what's not. Okay, so next is clothing, and then this tells you everything you're wearing will have a little tab here, and everything you're not won't have a tab. One of the newer effects of the updates was this here that says you have, X pounds in your back and X pounds worn. So I don't know the exact calculations they do, but basically what you're wearing counts slightly less towards your backpack weight. So if I were to take this off, it would count more towards this weight right here in the top left. So Next is food, and it shows you all the food you have. I don't really have much food right now. I think I have some meat outside sitting, but this shows you, you're gonna have any kind of man-made food, snacks, cans, that kind of stuff are all in here. And then your water, and you'd have either potable or non-potable. You should always have potable water in you, always. So next is tools. Is anything like that you can use to help you, and or help you fix things. And then this is craftable materials. So anything you can make, basically, or anything that is used to make something else. So, our backpack is pretty overloaded right now. I have almost 100 pounds of stuff on me, which means I'm pretty slow. Like I'm not super slow, but it takes me it takes me a little bit of time. I can't run at all. Cannot run at all. So the effects of what you carry in your bag will change your movement speed, will change your ability to run, and I believe it might affect your ability to fight back when you get attacked by wolves and or other creatures. But that is also affected by your hunger and thirst and exhaustion. So if you are completely exhausted, you're going to have a hard time fighting animals. So, basically what we want to do is look at our inventory tab by tab and say, sort it out. So you can either sort things A to Z by quality or by weight. I usually sort by weight so that I know what is the first few things I can drop right off the bat that are going to drop my weight down enough that I'm not encumbered and I can move around and do what I need to do. So the first few things I usually drop are going to be any kind of like hides that just need to just go. And then there's a bear hide. That bear hide's real heavy. I think that's it. Okay.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
I usually spread out my hides on the floor so that I can see what I have, how much I have, and it gets them out of the way. Oh, there's a cured gut over there. Didn't even know that was there. Come on, why can't you place? Alright, so that just lets me know that I have, 3 wolf hides, 4 deer hides, and a bear hide. So, when it comes to your clothing, if you have, the animal skin stuff, you're gonna need to repair it with animal skin. You can't use cured leather. It won't work. So you have to continue to hunt and to search the world for, dead animals that you can then harvest for their hide to repair your materials. So those are like the largest things. So you can see I can run now, because I'm back under about 90 pounds or so. The next heaviest thing you want to drop are going to be any kind of like really chunky tools. So the axes, pry bars, that kind of thing. So I'm going to drop the pry bars over here, because I don't need them right now. And I'm going to put them up here, just to get them out of the way, but also where I can see them. And then I'm going to run over here, walk over here slowly. You can see I already have the tools here. I'm going to go back over here and we're going to grab pretty much the 2 lowest condition knives. I'm going to drop those. And I'm going to drop the lowest condition, or the highest condition hatchet. And then we're going to put those on the table. Just get them out of the way. Because we don't need them in our inventory right now. They're just taking up space, and I don't need them yet. The 2 extra cook pots I don't need on me. So I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put this can here. And I'll put this one here. So I shouldn't have any more in there. No. Okay, cool. So that's there. Because I'm staying here for a little while. I don't need them in my inventory. They can sit on the fireplace. I know where they are. I can see them. And I can grab them before I go. So next we're going to talk about things like moving through your tabs. So if I move through this tab, what don't I need? I don't need magnifying glasses in my inventory right now because I'm inside. And it's also almost nighttime. I can't do anything at night with a magnifying glass, so they can go out of my inventory right now. Next, I dropped majority of my tinder here and kept what I needed on me. I could drop this because I don't really need it at the moment, and I can pick it up before I leave if I need it. So, next is going to be medicine. Now, I have the majority of my meds already in here. As you can see, there's just mostly antibiotics, not too much. My rule of thumb is I always keep at least 4 painkillers on me at any given time. I always keep at least 4 antibiotics on me and at least 2 bandages. The stim is optional in my opinion. It depends on what I'm doing and where I'm going. If I'm traveling long term, meaning across a map, I will take a stim. If I'm traveling to another map, I will take a stim. If I'm just traveling the interior of a map, I don't generally bother with a stim. It's not really necessary. If I'm going out with 100% condition, I really shouldn't need a stim unless a bear is coming at my face. And then I have a problem. But if I know the map well enough, I know where to avoid all the bears are. Where to avoid them. So once you get more comfortable with the game, you can kind of judge when you need something like that. Next would be your clothing tab. If I had any excess clothing, I think I have there's like a hoodie right here, or a ski jacket. I would just kind of either drop them here or drop them upstairs next to the bed. That's usually where I put clothing. And then food tab, if you have any excess food, like cans and boxes, I usually just drop them right by the fire. I don't right now. I think I have some meat outside, but let's wander upstairs and take a look and see what's up here. Hey, dead guy. I should name him. I don't usually keep too much up here. Sometimes I'll keep some shoes up here and clothing, but that's about it. So there's nothing up here right now. There's some cloth I could break down, but it's not really necessary right now. I have plenty of cloth, and my majority of what I have is repaired with hides. So cloth, once you get a little further into the game, cloth becomes a little bit of an unnecessary item except for your smaller stuff. So, this whole top row is repaired with hides, period. There is a new item in the game, a rabbit skin hat, and the moose hide cloak and the moose hide satchel are new as well, but the rabbit skin hat is the newest item. You just need 3 rabbit pelts for that, which isn't too hard to get. They did just update the rock throwing in the game, and it is so much better. So now that we've got that done, we're going to move over to tools. I have quite a bit that I can drop. I don't need these flares on me right now. I don't need either of these jerry cans on me right now. I don't need this piece of charcoal. I don't need 3 of those, and I don't need all of those. Don't need that. And then I don't generally drop the fishing tackle or flare shells unless I have like a bajillion of them. So fishing tackle doesn't stack, and since they're only 0.04 of a pound, I don't worry about dropping them because they won't add up in weight until you get about 15 or 20 of them. And since generally speaking you're not going to have that many fishing tackle, you don't need to worry about carrying them or not. Like, you can put them in a drawer. I don't recommend dropping them because they're really hard to pick up and find. They're a pain in the butt. Even when you're just trying to hook or a line, like, it's a pain in the butt to pick up. So I usually just leave them in my inventory and don't worry about it, or I put them in a drawer if I'm really wanting to just cut down all those little numbers. Flare shells, if I have more than 5, you're looking at about a half a pound, which can mean running or walking. So if I only have 2, I leave them in my inventory and I don't worry about it. I usually like to keep 1 sewing kit at 100% on me. If I have another one that's below 100%, I will keep that on me as well. But I always like to have at least 1 extra sewing kit on me at 100%. I think all of these were at 100%. I usually just throw... that works. All my stuff up on the counter here. really depends on what you want to do and where you want to put your stuff. Mainly because, you know, you need to be able to see what you have. One of the most important things I've discovered with the Long Dark is just putting items where you're going to know how many you have, what you have, and you know, how easily available to you. You want things to be easily available so that you know, hey, I don't have a flare anymore. I need to go see if I can find some flares. If you want, you know, if you are the type of player who likes having flares, go for it. You know, go ahead and go find some. There are plenty in the world. There is a limited amount. They are man-made substances, so there's always going to be a limited amount of man-made substances. That's just kind of how the game is. But you can always make torches. So this piece of charcoal, I'm going to move this by the door because I don't use it. Charcoal is for cartography. It's for mapping out your areas. I have never used the map because I don't need it. When you've played The Long Dark, as long as I have, you kind of just learn the maps by heart, or you look up ones that are already made online and study them and learn, you know, where you need to go, what you need to do, what to avoid. Cliffs not to walk off of, that kind of thing. So as you can see, I'm back down under my carrying weight, but I'm not done. I'm not done. This is not done. So we're gonna drop all these guts. I did not mean to drop the cured leather. Fresh gut I usually put aside. And the cured gut I move somewhere else just so that I can look at them. And you can actually tell the difference. So the fresh gut is a lot brighter, just like the hide that is uncured is a lot brighter. So when you're picking stuff up to go take with you, pay attention to that color, because if you pick up a fresh deer hide, you can't use it. You know, you can't use this fresh gut on a crafting item, and it makes you stink. That is one of the very important things about to register about the Long Dark, is that, you know, you're going to attract more animals. And that's going to affect you because you need to run. If you're attracting animals, you need to move. You need to, you know, motor. And if your carrying weight is way too heavy, you're not going to move anywhere. Now, that being said, you can outwalk a wolf. You can. As long as you do not agitate an animal or raise a weapon to the animal, you can outwalk it. If you really try hard enough and go around enough corners, it'll lose you eventually. So it's not impossible to get away from things even if you can't run. That's one thing I do like about this game, is that there is a semi-realism with the animals, in that they're not there to outrightly attack you, unless you're in interloper mode, then you're screwed. But, you know, in Stalker, Voyager, Pilgrim, you know, in the three normal modes, you know, the animals, you have that sense of realism of they're hesitant to go near a person. You know, they don't want to attack a person unless you outrightly are aggressive towards them first. Or you just run up and walk up to one on accident because you just walked over a hill and there's a wolf there. That happens. Anyway, so still not done. So I don't need this crow feather right now. Crow feathers, again, are kind of like fishing tackle. They don't weigh anything. But if I'm not going to use it because it's a crafting item, I usually just go ahead and throw it in a drawer. The fishing tackle I'm going to leave on me because I'm going to do some fishing soon. But these arrows and this bow are really getting hurt. Taking a number. So, arrow shafts, I don't need. It's not much of a carrying weight, but since I can't use them and they're a crafting component, I can't do anything with them. They're taking up space in my inventory that I don't need. The fishing tackle is usable. It's not a crafting item, it's usable. So I'm gonna go do some fishing, and that will, you know, justify me carrying them. I don't particularly need 4 arrows on me at the moment. I could put the really good one away for right now. I do eventually need to make a new bow. That's kind of just a fact of life. They break. It happens. So, now that we've got the majority of that handled, I'm down pretty much to where I need to be. But I still want to go back in here and look at all of these, what do I have that I'm carrying I don't need? Well, I don't need the simple tools because I am not making something right now. I'm not repairing something metal. So I don't need that. What else don't I need? I will keep the fur firewood on me just because I may go out and make a fire at the hut when I go fishing. So that's fine. I don't particularly need this many coffees on me. 2 is probably fine. I love how the coffee never spills no matter what you do. It's quite beautiful, actually. So, we're good. That's, 58 is pretty darn good. I can carry a lot more stuff. Now, for me personally in this playthrough, the majority of my weight comes from what I'm wearing. When you get into endgame and you have things like animal skin items, the bear coat, it's really heavy. Again, when you are talking about clothing, you're wearing X amount of weight and then there's X amount of weight in your bag. However, this weight still counts. So, we have 5881 right now, right? We take that off, it's 11 pounds. Go back to our inventory, 61. So that was only a 3-pound difference, right? Roughly, 4 pounds. So, that's 4 pounds that is not accounted. Meaning, you can kind of do the math there. I don't know the exact calculations again, but basically it was accounting for everything except 4 pounds of that bear skin. So it made 4 pounds disappear when you wear it. However, there is still a chunk of it that is counted for in your inventory. So you got to be careful with what you're wearing. If I'm going to be going on a short trip and the weather's really nice, I may leave my bearskin coat here so that I can go ahead and I can drop that, right? And now I have a big chunk of inventory to use, right? I have, 15 pounds that I can carry without that on me, which is great. It's great. But you have to really be judicious about that, because you don't want to be running around everywhere without protection. One of the things you got to be careful with when it comes to carrying weight versus clothing is, you got to judge whether you want to take the weight or you want to take the protection. So, if you are going out into an area is going to be rigid, like Forlorn Muskeg or Hushed River Valley, you need to know you're going to be protected. And that's not just protected against the weather, it's protected against animal attacks. So, how much protection you have from each layer versus an animal biting you. That being said, you have to then realize that you don't have that carrying weight. So you have to be a little judicious about what you're wearing versus how much you can carry when you go in, out and about and running around trying to scavenge the different maps in the world. There are a few maps I have not explored in this playthrough. I have not gone to Forlorn Muskeg. I've not gone to Hushed River Valley. I don't think I've gone to Milton. I've gone to Timberwolf Mountain. That's probably where the majority of my stuff came from. Did I make it to the summit? it to the summit? I did. Yeah, I made it to the summit on day 61. That's probably where the majority of my stuff comes from. So, I don't think I've gone anywhere except for Mystery Lake, Timberwolf, and Pleasant Valley and Coastal Highway. Just the main kind of, yeah, the more well-known areas of the world. So there's a good few maps I haven't explored yet that I can probably go to and have a great time exploring and surviving in. Again, I have to be judicious about my carrying weight so that I can figure out what I need to take with me and what I can leave here. Because, it's not hard to get to Mystery Lake. I can leave half of this stuff or a good chunk of this stuff here.
Oh, I could eat a horse.
Yes, you could. Let's go see if you have some meat outside. See what the weather even looks like, actually. Sunset, I believe. Oh, that's dandy. That is dandy. Fresh. What is this? Oh, these are ruined. I can't eat these yet. Fresh cooked. Always make sure your food is cooked before you eat it. Wow, it's bad out here. That is some nice fog. Anyway, let's go back inside. So, that is a little bit of my memos about carrying weight and inventory management. There are still some things that I would personally drop if I'm not going to be running around just yet. I'd probably drop the stay on target because it's used up. I read it already. I can't, I've researched the hours, it's fine. It's just firewood. So depending on, what you like to do with your stuff, you can put it over here so you know that it's not usable anymore. If I'm not going to be running around, I would probably drop the bow and put that on the desk so I know to grab it before I leave. Put it somewhere. I'm going to put it by the door, I guess. Sometimes I will even go ahead and drop the hunting rifle if I'm not going to be running around anywhere that I need it in particular. So if I'm not going somewhere where I think there's a lot of wildlife that I need to kill, if I'm not going hunting, if I'm just going to go fishing, I don't really need the hunting rifle on me because it's just not worth the carrying weight because, I can't show you right now, the fog's out there, but I know there are roughly 4 to 5 wolves on that lake, and I know usually where they roam or where they spawn, and they're easy enough to get around, without getting eaten. So, that being said, it's not necessarily I don't need the rifle on me if I'm just gonna go fish. It's not particularly necessary. Other things that I would drop, if I'm not going to make a fire, I would drop the firewood and put it by the fire. When it comes to carrying weight, an example of your lantern, you always make sure your lantern's full. So that means taking a jerry can, filling it up, and putting the jerry can down. Don't carry the jerry cans with you. Leave them at your base. You don't need them on you. They're extra weight. And if you have a full lantern, you're fine for quite a while. Like, it lasts a while, even if you're running through a cave or a mine. So, other things I could drop. Since I got rid of the bow, I can go over here. And, oh, I hate that. And I can go ahead and drop the arrows in here because I don't have the bow on me. What's the point of having the arrows on me? It's not worth the weight. So now you can see I'm down to 45 pounds, which is pretty darn good. The majority of that is going to be my my clothing, and there's nothing I can really do about that unless I decide to take off my bearskin coat, which is going to be the majority of my weight. One thing I usually do is put down my bedroll when I'm in a building. Don't do that unless you're very comfortable with the game, because you can forget it really easily. I've made a very good habit of putting the bedroll down the minute I get into my base, so that it's, an extra, how much does this weigh, 11 pounds? Oh, it's only 2.5 pounds, but, it's weight that I don't need on my person when I'm running around in my base. I don't need it. Especially if I'm just gonna use it. Sometimes I will drop lantern fuels if they are plentiful, like if I have like 4 or 5 of them. I'll drop them. I don't need them. They're a pain in the butt, and they're just in the way. For the majority, everything else is pretty necessary to keep on you. If you're just going in and out of your base, it's always good to have matches on you. It's always good to have at least 5 sticks. The best would be 15, because if you have 15 sticks and 5 cloth, you can always make a snow shelter. If you get into a scenario where you need cover and you need it quick, meaning a blizzard starts up and you are not near shelter, you need to be able to make a snow shelter. Period. Need to. 15 sticks and 5 cloth. That's all you need. Sometimes I will keep 15 sticks on me, sometimes I won't, because it's kind of heavy. It depends. I will sacrifice something else for the sticks, usually. Other things to keep on you would be like at least a couple of meals worth of food. So not necessarily enough food to fill your stomach to the top, but a decent amount of food so that you can sleep. There is I guess you would call it a min-max sort of version of strat in the game, where you let your character starve all day and then only eat when you're going to sleep. That's a good strat for low spawn rate games. So if you have your settings set to a lower spawn rate, you're not going to have as much food to carry, which is a good thing because it means that you can put more in your inventory other than food. However, you'll never get the benefit of being well fed. And the benefit of being well fed is that you get 11 pounds of extra carrying weight. Now, I haven't gotten it in this version of the game yet. It will pop up here as well fed, and you will see it in the bottom left hand corner on your food radial and on your condition bar. You will get a little blue section on the condition bar, which will give you extra condition, as well as extra carrying weight. I haven't gotten that yet because I haven't played too much of this since the update, this playthrough since the update. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, if you go in here and you make the moose hide satchel, lightens the load for a weary traveler, you get 11 extra pounds of carrying weight. 11 extra pounds carrying weight for 1 moose hide and 2 cured guts. Now, it's hard to get. Moose, or as I like to call them, moosin, are a pain in the butt to kill. They are very sturdy, very hardy, and they will hurt you. If you give them a chance to hurt you, they will hurt you. That being said, if you really want the extra carrying weight, it's worth the risk. There's a ton of stuff in this game you can do to give yourself extra carrying weight, and to give yourself, the ability to carry everything you need and collect, resources and tools that'll help you survive longer. But I hope this little mini guide sort of gave you a bit of an idea of, what to do when it comes to the Long Dark and your inventory. Thank you guys for joining me, and have a good day. Bye!